If you're new here, we are turning this forgotten Irish manor into a guest house, events venue, and organic farm. After we packed up our entire lives just over a year ago, we set off with our daughter Danu, our puppy Maka, and moved to this small but magical village in the west of Ireland. Alright, so we're going to keep it really simple today and just do a bit of a tour of everything that you've missed at Ballinderry over the last 10 months, because I know a lot of you have been asking questions what you've been up to. So let's get started. The first thing I want to show you is a pretty substantial transformation of the stables. You may have seen from previous videos it was a complete mess in here. The floor was cobble. We did take those up and actually saved them because why not? And we were thinking at one point to put them back down in here. But honestly, for a functional workshop, we had to just get a floor in here. So we put a solid floor down. We've then taken 8 uprights and beams going across, and we have put a second level in here. You've heard me talk about this before, but despite the size of the house, we have very little storage space. I know that sounds crazy. And this here is the key to all that. So we'll be able to empty the house, clear it of all the clutter, clear it of all of the antiques and furniture and things that we got, and decide what's staying in there, what's coming out here, and use upstairs for that. Now, in this side, we're going to basically create an L-shaped workshop. I've talked about this briefly before as well, but the whole back wall there is going to be a big storage unit. And then on this side of the L shape, there's going to be another kind of movable bench. And the idea there is that we can fold that bench right back and into the wall there, so it sits flush with the other workbench. And then you still have this whole usable space here, which we're thinking could be a venue at times for gigs and stuff, and for the festivals that we host here. So workshop is definitely a big priority on the list, and you'll see that in a future video because it's going to make everything else that we do here so much easier. But anyways, there's a full video on this coach house transformation, which you'll see very, very soon. So let's keep going. Got to put some doors on these as well, but we'll get to that soon. And then out here, there was, especially at the festival, there was a pretty big issue with parking and access. So one of the things we knew we wanted to do was make a proper hard stand here. So we have done so. And it's a substantial size. It's got plenty of room for everything we want to do. And during the festival, this will be the food court and the craft village. And yeah, a lot of tidying up to do around this area, but we're working on that slowly. And what we'd like to do is repeat this kind of process like we've done with this semicircle here, where we basically took a perfect semicircle around this wall. We used one of the statues that we got in France and then planted some hedging around it and stuff. And the idea is that we'll do this around this whole car park so that it has a real beautiful kind of edging to it, a nice hedge, nice plants up in the bank there, and you know, it's a nice welcoming place to come to and not just a car park. So whenever we're hosting events or weddings or whatever else, we can use it for those. So yeah, this is where we hosted most of the festival. So everyone camped over there in our neighbour's field, and then they came through here, food court over there, and into this main field. There was another field at the back, but I'll show you that another time. But in here we have the live stage. So this was actually built using all of the storm damaged trees that came down in our storm video, if you remember that. Yeah, we had a great team from Élu Le Gras, which is the name of the festival. And over the course of a few weeks, we prepared and built this stage. So basically what we did was we took the kind of overall shape first that we wanted to create, which was like a hexagon. So you can see it's actually an octagon, but you can see the different sides to it there to give it that feeling of being an enclosed round surface or stage. And then we built the base. So this base went in around, and then using some Douglas fir, we put the 8 uprights
and they formed the main structure. And then I milled some timber in half to create these pieces that connect the Douglas uprights, and then all of the rest of it is stuff that we've basically just found on the land that came down naturally in the storm, in Storm Éowyn. Really happy with the result. It's been sitting out reasonably uncovered because we didn't quite get a chance to finish the roof before the festival last year, so we'll have to work on that and treating it and stuff so that it lasts a nice long time. But it's a great starting point, and yeah, just wait till you see this area full of people. You'll really start to understand it. A wet January morning doesn't really give it justice. And dotted around the site then from the festival, there's all sorts of cool stuff. Down in the forest, there's some installations, there's different permanent structures that were left there and that we'll build on next year and whatnot. Over in that field, there's a dome that's staying there, and yeah, other nice little pieces that we'll keep adding to over the years. And one of the really beautiful ones is this bench here, which two of the guys made during the build up to the festival, using all of the milled timber. We wanted to do something special with this area because this kind of weeping ash tree is such a specimen tree. So to be able to sit under this with the leaves of the trees hanging down and looking out onto the stage there with this kind of natural amphitheater, really quite a special space to host events. So that's kind of most of it for this side. There's obviously much more to show you, but I'll do a separate forest tour another time. We're going to make our way back towards the house now, and I'll show you some more. Next up, we're going to go up and have a look at the other side of the property, which we've done a lot of work at, and we'll talk through some of the bits up there. But first of all, just want to introduce you to someone. This is the Kubota U27-4, which we recently got, and it's been amazing to have it. It's gotten so much work done with this thing, but yeah, I just need to learn a little bit of the maintenance and stuff on it because we have done a little bit of damage. I blew a couple of tracks on it, and then at one point had a boulder come down and hit this side, so it's it is what it is, but I think, yeah, a big part of what we've got to do now is like looking after the machines and starting to learn how to maintain them, because that's definitely a shortfall of mine personally, having worked at a desk for most of my life. So we're now going to head up towards the Polytunnel, and up here we've got kind of a wood chip path up here, but it's getting pretty churned up, you could say. So we're definitely going to put some gravel down here to finish this off. Yeah. So behind me is the Polytunnel, which we put up several months ago now, and we got a great first season growing in it. There's going to be a full video on us putting this up. It's a 17 by 4.5 meter tunnel, I think. And yeah, we had some trials and tribulations getting it up, so that's going to be fun to share with you very soon. We also used the box that we got the hot tub in to make our first chicken coop, and yeah, being able to come up here in the morning, grab some eggs, and if there's fresh bread in the house, then there's nothing quite like some fresh eggs from your own chickens and veg from your own garden and stuff. So props to Leisha for everything she's done up here, that's for sure. Now, it's not obviously the best time of year to show you this. It's raining and it's January, so I will show you the garden in full bloom in time. But basically we started with this intersection here and made all of these beds. We didn't enclose the beds just yet, just so we could get going. And then just recently we expanded the garden. You can see around the edges there where we're starting to establish some new beds, mainly for potatoes and a pumpkin patch. So exciting times. There's obviously lots of different ways to utilize land here in Ireland, and we've gone back and forth in different ways that we'd like to do that with the 41 acres that we have here. But to be honest, the main thing that we're passionate about is to replant native trees. You know, Ireland has something like 0.02% native tree cover. You know, from a nation that's steeped and born in the forests, it's a really sad fact that there's such little tree cover that's native here in Ireland. So our vision for what's behind me here, which is about a 20-acre field and another, say, 7 or 8 acres elsewhere, is to replant this whole thing with native trees. So in 2026, that's going to be something that we're doing with the help of a forester, and yeah, there'll be all sorts of native varieties going into the land, and you know, in 7 or 8 years time there'll be a bit of a woods here, and it'll be great for the ecosystem, it'll be great for nature, it'll be great for animals, and it will also be great for, you know, to use that timber as a material as well for fencing and firewood and everything like that. You know, the property has some really special trees on it, and some of that is coppiced. So coppicing is basically an old technique where you would allow a tree to grow to a certain size and thickness, and then you'd cut the tree and you use those pieces to make fencing or walking sticks or whatever it might be. And because the way you coppice, particularly trees like hazel, they grow back and multiply. So on the land there's some incredible hazel. So just paying homage to that and getting back into that. And obviously my father was one of the founders of the Coppice Association in Ireland, so grew up with that as a passion, for sure. Yeah, behind me is our new shed or garage or whatever you want to call it. But as I mentioned before, just like having so much stuff in the house is a bit of an issue for us and we can't clear spaces, it's the same with the land. And oftentimes what would happen is we'd get deliveries of materials, or there'd be leftover materials or any kind of waste or scrap that we might use again, and we had nowhere to put it. So it was cluttering up the house, it wasn't looking good for guests and whatnot. So this area, its primary purpose is to have a place where we can store materials and keep it away from the guest-facing side of things. The second thing obviously then as well is we need a place to store vehicles that's dry. So I'll show you this shed now. So yeah, it's a 30-foot shed with a nice steel roof and steel beam structure. So it was pretty quick to put up. We basically just put in these foundations and then our cross pieces and our uprights and did the roof. So it was a pretty simple construction. We are going to put sides on it all the way around so that it can be a proper enclosed space, and then maybe some kind of vehicle specific storage and workshop space in here so that we can kind of maintain and look after the vehicles down here. And this should fit everything we have for the time being: the quad, the digger, the tractor, and all of the attachments for the tractor as well. So the hope is that this will be a bit of a garage, or at least a dry storage for the vehicles, and that'll be that. So David Brown looks pretty happy in there, I must say. So yeah, that's the new shed. I just wanted to give you guys that quick kind of tour of the land so that you get an idea of what we've been up to since we last posted about 10 months ago. Nearly everything that I've shown you, we have recorded the process of doing. So the polytunnel, the stage, the festival, the seating, the garden, the chicken coop, this shed here, everything has been recorded and documented. So each of those projects is going to have its own separate video, which is going to be coming soon. So yeah, really excited to show you that, and I'll just say thanks so much again for following, and we'll see you in the next video.